파란불. It's blue.
It's not blue, it's green. They were green, they were not blue for me. Also in one family holiday, I was sitting in a car and they said like that the lights can be blue and the forest can be blue and I was just like, no, it's green.
If you think of a spectrum of colors, then there is blue, and then green, and then yellow. So green is on the way from blue to yellow or from yellow to blue. And if you zoom in the spectrum, the distinction between the colors is getting really hard. So this color, how would you call it? Is it blue or green? Or how about this color?
The names might be different in other languages for the colors, but the spectrum itself will always stay the same. That difference between the meaning of the words in different languages is called semantic range.
푸르다 and 파랗다 are mostly used for
Colors in the nature, like
yeah,
the sky,
or
forest,
trees, forest, sea,
or bananas.
grapes, apples. By definition, 푸르다 means bright and clear, as the clear autumn sky, deep sea, or grass. Or also the status when the crops or fruits are not ripe yet. But according to the English dictionary, 푸르다 is both blue and green. 파랗다's first meaning is more or less similar to 푸르다, but it also means the color of the face when someone is cold or scared. When he was confused, I just thought of 푸르다 in my mind in Korean and then mistranslated into blue.
For us, green, but for Koreans, can be still called
푸르다.
부르다.
Although those 푸르다 and blue don't match perfectly one to one.
It's the best way to translate it.
But of course, it doesn't mean that we cannot distinguish the color. We can see the difference. So if necessary, I could say green. So when I was younger, I was also complaining that older people called it blue light. Although for me it was distinctively green. But as I grew up, I started to use blue light more often than green light.
That is not only a thing that can happen in Korean actually, because if you think of the color orange, at least in German, there are things that are orange that we don't call orange. For example, when the sun is rising or when the sunset is, we call it Morgen- or Abendröte, and in that word there is the color red inside. So we just relate to red or maybe yellow, but we don't say, although the colors are pretty orange, and that's because we also didn't really have a word for orange until we found the fruit, the citrus fruits, which were really orange.
So this confusing translation is not only happening in Korean, but also in other languages.
And it can also happen with other terms because of a not quite fitting semantic range of two words. Especially for me when learning Korean, although I'm not doing it, when I learned Korean, it's much about understanding the concept behind and the logic behind, much more than when I learned English or French, because it was just a grammar rule I had to learn. But in Korean it really felt like it's completely different. And I have to get why, for example, that blue and H, how the language works, it's really important. So we should also laugh.
Tschüss!
안녕!